President Donald Trump calling for supporters to keep watch of the polls, now the subject of a lawsuit. The DNC accusing the RNC of collaborating with Team Trump and saying that poll watching amounts to voter intimidation. Shawn's live in our newsroom here in New York City looking at that today. Eric.
Hey, Bill. Well, here's the lawsuit. It claims that Republican National Committee has been working with Donald Trump's campaign on poll watching security efforts, all in violation of a long-standing federal order. You know, for 35 years, the Republican National Committee has been under a consent decree prohibiting it from deploying so-called ballot security teams at the polls or engaging in challenging voters. The RNC says it doesn't do that because of that order. The ban stems from the bitter 1981 New Jersey governor's race between Democrat Jim Florio and Republican Tom Keene. Republicans employed off-duty police officers to keep an eye on the polls in largely African-American neighborhoods. Critics said it was aimed at suppressing the minority vote. Well, the lawsuit says, quote, although certain RNC officials have attempted to distance themselves from some of the Trump campaign's most recent statements, there now is ample evidence that Trump has enjoyed the direct and tacit support of the RNC in its ballot security endeavors, including the RNC's collaboration on efforts to prevent this supposed rigging and voter fraud. Others have warned about such efforts.
It also leads to long lines, and that is something that can not only keep people from voting, but interfere with the election administration process and be a real problem for election administrators.
Well, the Republican National Committee rejects the DNC's claim, saying it strictly abides by that federal order and does not coordinate with the Trump campaign. By the way, the consent decree only applies to the RNC itself and not any other efforts like Trump's.
Last hour, Trump sent out a tweet about Texas, concerns in that state. What do you know about that?
Well, yeah, those concerns have to do with electronic touchscreen voting machines, some voters claiming that their votes were switched or the choices were switched. Officials say it is not voter fraud. And we did this story 2 weeks ago, how sometimes if you go to a touchscreen voting machine, the choice could actually, be flipped. But they say that doesn't mean it registers as that vote, that you've got to check it and double check it before you actually cast your ballot. They say that sometimes the machines are out of calibration and they go in and tinker with them and put them back in calibration. But officials saying they blame the voters and say as of this time that no incorrect votes were actually cast.
Okay, keep an eye on it. Thank you. Shawn here in our newsroom in New York. Thank you, Eric.